Too fucking early for this shit. Yo, what's good everyone? Thank you for tuning in to today's video. As you can tell by the title, we have a pretty controversial video today. So before we dive in, I want to welcome back any of my returning subscribers. And if you are new around here, welcome to the channel. My name is Aiden, and on this channel, we do release brand new sneaker content every single week. So if you haven't already, please consider smashing that subscribe button. Also, do make sure that that bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. And if you do enjoy this video, please give it a massive thumbs up, as it really does help getting this video out to more and more people so we can keep expanding our community. But with all that said and done, let's go ahead and jump straight in. So before we jump into the meat and potatoes of the situation, I want to give you guys a little bit more of an understanding of who Offspring are and what Offspring are for anybody that's watching this video that doesn't already know. Now, for those that don't know, Offspring is a UK-based retailer, very similar to the likes of JD, Foot Locker, Foot Asylum, and if you're not from the UK, and you are, for instance, from America, very similar to the likes of Champ Sports, Jimmy Jazz, Kids Foot Locker, and all those kinds of things. Effectively, it's just a UK retailer that has shoes, basically. And like most retailers these days, especially in the modern age, they hold raffles online. They have first come, first serve. So the format in which they operate is not really that different from your other standard retailers. Now, I've had my own dealings with Offspring in the past, and I've mentioned it in quite a few live videos over on Instagram, videos on the channel, but I'm not really going to get into all of that because anybody that knows me knows that I don't like Offspring. This is a video for us to be able to discuss what has actually happened, go through the actual situation little by little, and actually try and dissect it and see what's exactly going on. I wasn't even going to do this video, I'll be completely honest, but the longer into the day things were happening, the more messages I were getting, the more people that I spoke to who were actually there. So I felt like I've gathered enough information to be able to talk about it. And if anybody that's watching this video was there and experienced it firsthand, please make sure to leave me a comment. I'm more than happy to do a part 2 if anything I say in this video requires more discussion. But yeah, I just really wanted to go through it little by little so we can break it down section by section. So the best place for us to start is actually at the beginning, and a lot of you guys will probably already be aware that on the 18th of May there was a release between Nike and Ambush for the Nike Dunk High in the royal blue colourway. Now, what Offspring will have done around that time is they will have held the raffle information up on their Instagram page, and like I touched on, you'd have had a certain amount of time to enter certain keywords within an allotted time frame, and then if you were fortunate enough, you would have been sent a message to collect a pair. Now, it actually transpires that there was actually quite a few uncollected pairs, so what Offspring then decided to do was to actually hold a first come first serve basis on the actual 11th of June. Now that in itself, no issue with that, that's absolutely fine. If anything, that's really helping people that really wanted a pair that perhaps weren't able to get it on the main release actually go ahead and have another opportunity to at least try and cop them. So the actual situation itself isn't really an issue, but what was happening throughout the 11th of June, which is actually yesterday from the day I'm recording this video, I was getting lots of, messages, I was seeing lots of things on Instagram stories, and then it started to see it on Facebook as well. It was transpiring that Offspring were refusing to give the customers the boxes to go along with the shoes. Now, at first, I kind of thought it was just a little bit like Chinese whispers. Maybe there was a damaged box situation. Wasn't really sure what was going on, and I really didn't want to touch on it because of the fact that if I don't have all the information, I don't feel it's worthy to actually bring it to you guys, because at the end of the day, if I don't know what I'm talking about, there's no point talking about it. But as I was actually moving throughout the day, the more videos started to surface, the more statuses were being thrown up on Facebook, the more Instagram people were talking about it. And in general, it started to become so massive and it was around me so much that I had to look into it in a lot more detail. So I started to see some videos, which I'm actually going to show you guys now. So the very first, instance or very first bit of information I actually got regarding this whole Offspring situation was actually this picture that they threw up on the Instagram story. Now, Offspring have actually blocked me, believe it or not, accusing me to be a reseller. Obviously, if anybody who knows me knows I'm not a reseller. Have I resold shoes? Yes. Does that make me a reseller? No, at least in my opinion anyway. But anyway, that's a completely different discussion to talk about. So I didn't see this officially on the Instagram story. I actually saw this over on Facebook. Now, my first thought, like a lot of people's first thought, was that this was something to do with maybe staff shoes and staff were just destroying shoes or disposing of broken boxes or whatever the situation was. And that's, like I say, one of the main reasons as to why I really didn't want to touch on it. But then as I was moving throughout my day, just doing my normal thing, I started to see other videos surfacing just like this one. Now, in this video in particular, as you can see, we do actually have an Offspring Employee actually destroying the box. Now, they're not destroying the box discreetly in the back, away from, you know, clients, customers, and away from, you know, paying Nike customers. They're effectively doing it in the open eye of multiple people that have been able to get this footage. You can see there's customers in the shot, you can see there's employees in the shot as well. Now, for the purpose of the video, I'm blurring out faces because I don't want to put anybody on blast. At the end of the day, these employees are just doing the job. They'll have been told to do this, and this is information that's been sent down from above, not from, you know, from the bottom to the top. So this is nothing or any slight on anybody that actually works there. If you come across this video, this isn't against you. This is a case of, you know, I completely get it. I've done things that, you know, when I've worked in certain jobs that I felt was a little bit uncomfortable doing, and I imagine doing this publicly probably wasn't the easiest thing to do, especially if you love shoes. You know, it couldn't have been easy to destroy the box. And people say you don't wear the box. It's irrelevant. But we'll get into more of that as we go through it. Now, I then started to take a look at it in a little bit more detail. I then came across this video, and as you can see, this person's actually been given the shoes in a Selfridges bag with, you know, no box. And it's not only the ambush dunks, but it actually turns out that it's those giraffe dunks as well. So when they was doing this main restock, it looks like there wasn't just the ambush, you know, first come, first serve. They was doing it for other pairs as well. Now, I completely get this whole, you know, mindset of wanting to stop resellers, but it's not up to Offspring to police this. And, you know, I completely am bemused by this whole situation. This could have been done so much more discreetly, and people probably wouldn't be as upset about it as they actually are, because at the end of the day, if you did this in the back, there'd have been less people talking about it, less footage surfacing online, and we wouldn't even be probably doing this video right now. Whether or not this video has any impact, probably won't, but for those of you that really want to see this and wanted me to talk about it, I felt like it was definitely a necessary evil. You know, I really hate Offspring, so this is a difficult video for me to do anyway, where I'm trying to stay impartial.
It's true.
But the major issue that I take with it, and the thing that I found most difficult to actually, you know, even try and understand, is for me, and I feel for most collectors and most enthusiasts for sneakers, is the unboxing is part of the experience. So, you know, when you get a certain pair that you really want, you've waited for it for such a long time, you get it, you take it home, or it arrives, you know, if you've ordered it online, you know, you open up the box, you look inside, you take out the shoes, you get that immediate euphoric moment.
Feeling so alive!
And then you know, you lace up the shoes, you try them on, you see if they fit, you see if they look good on you, and then you just go on with the rest of your life. But by effectively making people come for this first come, first serve and refusing them the box, that's just not right, man. It's just genuinely, it's just bang out of order. You're robbing people of the experience, of just as my personal thing. That's the thing that I don't like the most. Now, I've been speaking to a lot of people, and one of the messages that I got sent, I'm not going to say any name just in case he doesn't want to be named, but he actually showed this screenshot from a conversation that actually took place with Offspring. Now, in the message, they're saying that they don't actually want the shoes to be appearing in places or on sites that they don't want it to. They effectively don't want the shoes to be resold. And as much as I admire the dedication to, you know, stop resellers, it's not up for you to decide who does that. It's not up to Offspring to police people. So another question was actually posed to me, and I've actually seen people commenting it on the threads about this whole situation, is this actually legal, and are Offspring actually allowed to do this to Nike products? Now, I've had a look at the terms of service. It doesn't actually say anything specifically about destroying parts of the Nike product, probably because this has never been done before, or if it has been done before, it's never something that I personally have experienced, it's never something I've seen in person, and it's never something that I've, you know, ever even seen online. So if this has happened elsewhere, if you guys can kind of shed some light on, you know, what Nike's position was on it, what was the repercussions for the store, because as far as I'm concerned, I know there's a tier list of vendors, and, you know, the larger the vendor, the higher the tier. So for instance, Foot Locker is probably a very high tier because of how many units they move throughout the year. There surely has to be some form of repercussion. These retail chains are getting away with far too much. A lot of you guys probably saw that, you know, Foot Patrol leaked or released those Corbies without consent to do so from Nike. As far as I'm aware, there's been absolutely zero repercussions to Foot Patrol for doing that, and I don't see there being any repercussions to Offspring for doing this either. They may even start to continue to do this moving forward, and I know a lot of people, specifically in regards to this situation, are saying, well, only resellers will be upset. No. If you're a collector and you want to keep the box, that is for you to decide, not the person you're buying it from. So for example, the Raging Bull 5s came with an absolutely incredible box. Of course I want to keep that box. My Travis Scott 6s came with an incredible box. I'd want to keep it. But even lesser releases, for example, the Babe Adidas's, they came with an incredible box. I would want to keep it. Now, as far as I'm aware, they're not doing this for raffle winners, so if you'd have actually gone to collect when the original raffle took place, you would have been able to get your box using the Selfridges hatch, and that would have just transpired as normal. But this first come, first serve to stop resellers, this is what they're trying to do. It's just completely an unbelievable situation. I can't believe that this is even where we're at this stage in the year already. The amount of crazy that's gone into this thought is just unbelievable. Whether you are for Offspring or you're against Offspring, this isn't really that type of discussion. I don't like Offspring, but what I also really don't like is I don't like people being taken advantage of. I don't like the thought of people having to pay full retail for a shoe that isn't effectively what you are paying for. Don't get it twisted, the resale price is irrelevant. If I'm paying for a shoe that retails at £175 and that's what you are selling the shoe for, I don't give a shit if the resale price is £1,000. You are getting £175 worth of value. The box is incorporated into the value. It allows the shoe to reach you in the best possible condition. By removing the box and giving them a Selfridges bag, like we see in this picture here, or here, wherever I put it, you can see that they are just given a Selfridges bag, the shoes are plonked in, and that's it. That's not on. That's just not on. I can't get behind it. If you are a massive Offspring fan and you have a reasoning or an explanation as to why this is acceptable and whether or not you would accept it, please leave it in the comments. I'm all for hearing everybody's discussions. This is for an open discussion. Nobody will be abused. This is going to be a very respectful conversation because this is the only way we can actually get to the bottom of resolving this issue. But honestly, what's next? They're going to steal your insoles, the laces. There's just no end to this issue if we don't talk about it. So just to kind of wrap up this video and give you guys kind of like some final thoughts, you know, in terms of just reiterating my points, the box is part of the product, it's part of the experience, it's part of what you are paying for. Offspring stealing that away from you and destroying it publicly in front of the people that were paying their hard-earned money across is completely unacceptable. It is completely unbelievable, and it makes them look like such an amateur company that I know a lot of people are going to be put off using. Offspring are not enhancing the UK's reputation in terms of sneaker culture. If anything, it's hampering how other people look at us. It's also not helping the actual community as well. If the same people are winning every single week, it's not helping the community, you're just helping certain people. And I genuinely won't shop with Offspring, and I think a lot of people will be the same moving forward. The only time these companies ever listen to us is when it actually affects the, you know, the bottom line, the budgets. So if people stop spending money with them, then of course they'll have to change. But as long as people keep going back there week after week, spending all the hard-earned money, this really isn't going to change, and it's just really sad. You know, people have actually said, you know, what's Nike's stance on this? I'm not going to reach out to Nike and ask them, but if anybody else wants to report it and actually discuss it with them, then let me know what Nike's position is on it, because I genuinely would love to know, because I can't imagine that Nike are going to be happy about this one bit. Nike addressed the Ann Herbert situation very quickly. The statement came out very quickly. They still haven't really addressed the whole Vanessa situation in terms of the Corbys, and this just feels like it's going to fall far too under the radar for them to even address. So whether or not we hear anything else in the future remains to be seen. If anything else does transpire, anything else does develop, I'll make sure to do a part 2 to this video. But I want to say a massive thank you to everybody that's tuned in. I want to give a massive thank you to all of my returning subscribers and any of my new viewers. If you haven't already, please consider smashing that subscribe button. Also, make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. And I hope to see you all again in the next one.